Scott, this is pretty exciting, I think, for Spider-Man fans, as Spider-Man actor thinks Insomniac isn't done with Peter Parker. At this point, I gotta feel like most of us have beat Spider-Man 2, and we're not gonna get into spoilers. We're gonna dance around them, Scott. This is how it's gonna go down. Tom Ivan over at VGC. Yuri Lowenthal, who voices Peter Parker in Insomniac Spider-Man games, thinks the character will return in a future series installment. Having each had their own solo outing, Peter Parker and Miles Morales share the spotlight in the most recent series entry, with players swapping between the two Spider-Men as they team up to save New York from villains including Venom, Lizard, dude, which was so cool. They stepped Lizard up. Oh man, I loved Lizard. I thought he was fantastic. To the point where I'd like to see his get his own game. I think there's really something to play off of there. Yeah,
that's a big one.
That'd be sick. I think it'd be really cool. And then, of course, Kraven the Hunter, which was it was interesting to see the dynamic change throughout the game as we go to Venom, as we go back to Kraven, then you get introduced to Lizard, right? And oh man, like there's opportunities that they're just picking over here and picking over there. It's just such a love letter to Spider-Man. At the end of the day, it was really cool. But in a Gizmodo interview published following Spider-Man 2's release last October, Insomniac narrative director Ben Arferman and advanced writer Brittany Morris suggested this wouldn't be the case in a potential sequel. Asked about the game's ending, which we'll dance around right here, straight up. We're going to pass over this part here. But basically what's happened is they've set it up kind of like God of War Ragnarok, right? The ability to then either go with Kratos, or maybe we see something with Atreus, right? And then here, the way the game is set up at the end is more or less we can see more Spider-Man, or maybe Miles is now the new Spider-Man. Like maybe he's passed the baton, right? Quote, there have been some comments recently that were picked up in the infer that Peter's out and Miles is in. Not quite. While I think that Peter would love to believe that he can just turn it off and not be Spider-Man anymore and live a completely normal life, I don't think that's what's going to happen now. Quote, I don't know. I haven't read a script yet. They're probably still working on it, but I don't think that's the last we're gonna see Peter. I think it's a cool place to leave it. It's a cool change for him. End quote. Quote, I think 100% he trusts Miles. End quote. Lowenthal continued. Quote, Miles has really stepped up, and he's like, oh, maybe I can get a little break. and I did get a vacation. Yeah, if you played Miles, right? Miles Morales game, it is an introduction to Peter basically passing the baton to Miles right there. So he's already done it once, Scott, right? Like this is a thing. And then he came back for Spider-Man 2. So Miles gets his own spin-off. Peter Parker's had his own version. Then the two of them come back. Where does that leave the third game? That's really the biggest thing, right? Sony claimed that Spider-Man 2 was the fastest selling PlayStation Studios game in history, selling 2.5 million copies in its first 24 hours. The PlayStation 5...
That's because it's Spider-Man.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's a little name to that.
That's the star power.
Exactly. The PlayStation 5 exclusive went on to sell over 5 million copies during its first 11 days of availability and 10 million by mid-February. Yeah, okay. Taking lifetime series sales to 50 million units according to Insomniac. Congrats to Insomniac, man. That is killer. Spider-Man 2's New Game Plus update will be released on March 7th. It will also introduce audio descriptions, plus the ability to change the time of day, swap tendril colors, and replay missions. I think this is a very cool update. I don't know if it's enough to pull me back in, Scott. I've already beat it, platinumed the game, and bounced. Right?
Yeah, you're not one to really dabble back into the game after that case, but
no.
Is this going to be, how long until we get a Spider-Man 3, do you think? Because you know it's going to happen, but I don't know if we learned that or got the answers from the Insomniac leaks, the hacks that happened, that ransomware attack. I don't recall if there was details in there. All that I know is from being a kid with the Spider-Man 3 movie. And I know we have to have Peter come back. He has to do the little emo hair thing. There's a huge amount.
No, he doesn't. He does not need to do that at all. It's so Insomniac's got a contract with Marvel till 2030, if not beyond. I think it is at this point, right? So
they probably will get another one.
it's done so well, right? If you talk to Bill over at Marvel and he says about partnering with the right company for the right game, Insomniac is clearly doing something right when it comes to Spider-Man. Why would you pass that off to another studio? Makes absolutely no sense. No sense. Insomniac now is the Spider-Man team. Let them roll with it, right? Let them keep going with that. Okay, first up, Wolverine. Right? We all know that Wolverine is coming. Sounds like it's coming next year because according to PlayStation right now, there's no first-party titles coming out this year. Dude, what a shot in the gut that is. So, yeah, that's an interesting spin-off, right? So that means that sets up for next year. Wolverine first, then Spider-Man 3. And again, right, the way they set up the end of that, we're no spoilers, but boy, oh boy. Besides Spider-Man... the two of them, Miles and Peter, there's other stuff cooking there. And if you watch through the credits, go back. If you missed it, or if you haven't seen it and you want to see it, YouTube it or something, you can go back, watch the credits roll, and you see tidbits of, ooh, is that what's coming next? Yo, let's go, right? There's some big things. We got some more villains coming back, obviously, that has me excited to see where they're going to go. Do we see the return of Lizard? Do we see more Venom? We've also heard Venom's lines weren't all used either. So does that mean will we get Wolverine, Venom, and then Spider-Man 3?
Oh, Venom could be the reason we need Spider-Man to come back. Unite again. Peter, you're not done. Right? Venom's back and we need your help.
They could create chaos. I would love to see a Venom game stand out on its own. I think Insomniac is definitely the team to do that, because they have this long-standing contract and partnership and relationship with Marvel Games. I think the opportunity is there. If they have the idea and the team over at Marvel's like, yeah, that's a cool idea, let's do it, I think they can, right? We just saw Blade go over to Arcane, and we're going to see more of that. When we see that, who knows? Will it go multi-platform? Who knows that as well? But we'll see how that goes, right? But it is an opportunity of when you partner with the right team, you're going to get cool experiences. And Spider-Man is fired on all cylinders over at Insomniac. There's no reason to bring that to somebody else. Like that is their money maker.
I really can't imagine a better studio. The way Insomniac has just nailed it right out of the park. I want to see them do every superhero movie or video game, and beyond.
Dude, what if they did the Marvel's Avengers game? Like, I'm really, I get that's a games of service, right? At the end of the day, that was a games of service. But I wonder where they would have been able to take that. They probably would have to double the team just because it's a live service experience. But
yeah,
just kind of,
I don't know if you want to pin them down for too long either, the way those creatives work.
Yeah, without a doubt, right? We saw the shift from Naughty Dog, which was going to do The Last of Us multiplayer, which then said that would transform our studio into a live service studio and not allow us to focus on single player experiences. And that was their deciding factor right there. And the fact that Bungie came in and said, yeah, this isn't going to last, probably is going to be the other factor. But either way, when you get back into the world of Spider-Man, the way they set it up, dude, I could see Miles go on his own, or I could see Peter. I don't think, if Miles goes on his own, you're going to see Peter somehow. I think you have to.
Yeah.
Because he is the Spider-Man, right? At the end of the day, everybody knows who Peter Parker is. If you do not have him in some form, like there's a reason why in Miles Morales, we saw Peter. You needed Peter to be there, to have the presence to go, okay, hey, I'm bailing out on vacation for a little bit. I'm passing the baton to you. The city's yours. Mm-hmm. You need something there. So I think we get even if he does come back, I think it might be a small appearance. I don't know if he's actually going to get his full game. I don't think Spider-Man 3 is going to be a Peter Parker game. I think it's going to be a Miles Morales game with tidbits of Peter here or there. Opportunity, man, I think is endless when it comes to Insomniac. And obviously, we completely trust them too.
Oh, yes.